Okay.
All right. All right, good evening. Welcome to Neighborhood Board 14.
Microphone,
Oh,
microphone.
Mike.
So used to not using a mic when I'm teaching, but anyway, good evening. Welcome to Neighborhood Board 14, and just two administrative announcements. If you're going to speak, please raise your hand so we can recognize you, especially in the audience and WebEx. And also, please, if you have your cell phones, please turn off your cell phones. Okay. With that, let's see. Oh, by the way, before I forget, we will not be having a meeting in December because we're going to go dark. That's our time for recess. So this will be our last meeting for this year. And if I don't forget, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope I don't forget that. I'll mention it again at the end of the meeting. And with that, we have enforced as usual, and we're so welcome them because that means that we don't have any fires. How about our little fire department? We're ready, if you're ready.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Captain Carvalho from Engine 4, Kotini Fire Station. Oh, sorry. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay, again, good evening, everybody. Captain Carvalho from the Engine 4, Kotini Fire Station. Anybody doesn't know where that is, next to Lilia Bakery. Anyway, just to let you know, we are still in service. So if we get a call, we're gonna have to leave abruptly. Anyway, okay, the statistics provided below represent confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood board's geographical area for the previous month. So this would be for October. For more details on incidents and related mapping information, please visit the fire response search tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov. Under the news and info tab. Should you have any questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. Okay, there's no information previously requested, so I'll get into the statistics for October 2025. So for fires, we had one structure fire, one brush or wildland fire, 0 nuisance fires, 0 cooking fires, and 8 activated alarms with no fire. And a nuisance fire includes rubbish fires outside of a structure or vehicle. Okay, emergencies. We had 122 medical emergencies, 0 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrian, 1 motor vehicle crash or collision, no mountain rescues, no ocean rescues, and 1 hazardous materials incident. Okay, fire safety tips and announcements. Okay, the fire safety tip is cooking safety. Okay, food has a unique way of bringing family and friends together, especially during the holidays, and cooking can be a relaxing activity. However, it is important to be aware that cooking fires are the leading cause of home fires and home injuries. By following a few safety tips, you can prevent these dangerous situations. Okay, number 1, stay alert while cooking. If you are sleepy or have consumed alcohol, avoid using the stove or stovetop. Okay. Number 2, always stay in the kitchen while cooking. Never leave the stove and heated appliances unattended. Okay. Third one, use a timer or remind yourself to check on your food regularly. Next, keep combustible items like oven mitts, wood utensils, food packaging, and towels away from your stovetop. And last, keep children and pets at least 3 feet away from cooking areas. Okay, and that's all we have for the safety tips for the month.
Okay, board, any
Questions?
questions? Any comments? Actually, I want to thank you. I hear that from my wife all the time. Where are you going? You have something on the stove. I'll be right back. Yes.
Yeah, it is true that most of our fires are cooking fires, unattended cooking fires. And I've personally experienced a lot of them. So I can't stress that enough, that when you're cooking, especially elderly people, they have a tendency to start cooking and wander off and go do something, like go use the bathroom.
Is that why you're looking at me?
Well, I kind of glanced at the entire board here, and yeah, and one of the reasons they probably chose this topic is because of the holidays. You made a lot of cooking in the kitchen this time of
Okay,
year.
well, thank you for that reminder. Any questions from the board? Yes, Donald. He's looking at you too, you know.
What?
He's looking at, never mind.
You know, every
ahead.
month we have this emergency calls. Every month we have something like 100+ emergency calls.
Yeah.
Can you tell us where all these calls are coming from?
From these calls, all the statistics that were given are coming from the neighborhood board's geographical area.
So there's no one point that all these calls are coming from one location?
Yeah, no, it's not coming from one location. If it was, then that would be a big problem if one residence or business was called 122 times for the emergency.
Yeah, because don't you believe that 100+ calls, emergency calls for 1 month is gonna high?
Actually, there are other neighborhood board geographical areas that have way more than 122.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead. Right.
Been too many months on WebEx. Just wanted to thank you and your colleagues. And my sons are at preschool, and I know a lot of the preschools come and visit all of your fire stations, and we also visited them during Halloween. And so we just wanted to say thank you to all of you for hosting our kids there and having them crawl all over the engines and check everything out. We just really appreciate that. With that really neat look about your trucks and stuff, one day it might inspire them to get into what it is that you're doing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and we welcome visitors to the station, groups, a lot of schools or preschools, a lot of organizations will make arrangements to visit the station. And I know the kids really enjoy it, and we really, well, most of us really enjoy it.
Oh, good. Well, thank you very much. Anybody else from the board? How about from the audience? Oh, yes, go ahead, Liana. You got to come up over here. Liana, come up to the mic.
Thank you.
Okay, here.
Let's not forget the appliances like toasters and even those hot water kettles that we have plugged in, to unplug them before you go to bed, because I almost had a fire that way. The toaster just ignited.
A toaster?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of appliances, they do malfunction from time to time, but toasters. Another one reminded me is microwaves. You think just because it doesn't have, a flame, if you press the wrong buttons and heat up something for too long, it will catch on fire.
Good to hear. Good to know. Anybody else? Audience? WebEx? Well, if not, thank you very much. So,
Okay,
thank you for your
Have a good
service.
evening and happy
very
holidays.
good. Yeah. All right. Before we go on to the Honolulu Police Department, now that I think we got a full contingency, can we have a roll call?
Cantrell.
Here.
Christian. Fong.
Here.
Higa. Kaapu. Kuo. McPherson. Not here. Magawai. Not here. Mitsuda. Naoa Ota. Nita. Valdez. Yamamoto. Yamamoto. Online. Okay. Let's see. 11 members present. You have quorum.
Thank you. Okay, also for the record, when you look on the presentations, if you're here for those presentations, item number C and D are not going to be heard tonight. And the C is Exceptional Tree Program. I just got a email from the person who's supposed to be presenting that, and she has a conflict, so we're going to put her on in January. And under item D, the About Lanakila Pacific, she just emailed me today that she's got the flu. And I said, she wants to stay home. I said, stay home. So we'll reschedule them for January. Okay, with that, is the Honolulu Police Department here? HPD? Okay, let's move on. Wow. We have the Board of Water Supply. Hi, Iris.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Fast. I'm reporting on main breaks. We had one on October 2nd near 1240 Alani Street. And since we talk about a main breaks, my general announcement is when a main break occurs, we work quickly to reduce the impact to customers, protect public safety, and restore service. So for the latest updates on main breaks, generally for 4-inch and larger meters, 4-inch and larger mains, and information on how repairs are made, go to our boardofwatersupply.com/main breaks. And then you can also stay informed on Facebook and Nextdoor. And for larger, more impactful main breaks information, sign up for HNL Alert. So that's my fast plug for main break and Board of Water Supply website. Okay. Questions? Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any questions from the board?
Hmm?
Anybody? Any questions from the audience? How about from WebEx? Well, Iris, thanks for coming. I guess we're going to see you in January then.
That's how it's supposed to start. Happy November, December, and January holidays is what I was going to start off with. Since I'm not
All right.
until January, y'all.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see you in
Thanks. See you
January.
January.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, any resident concerns? Yes.
Vernon Nakamura, Liliha-Palama Christmas Parade. I just want to make a reminder notice that the parade is on November 28th, Black Friday, 5:30 at the United Church of Christ. Staging begins at 4:30, so be prompt. Darren is your, for the board's contact, so he knows. November 20th, the week before on Thursday, we have a safety meeting. It's a mandatory safety meeting. Starts at 6 o'clock at United Church of Christ, and Darren said he's going to be there. Quickly, I want to just thank the donors. We're kind of short on funds again this year, but I want to recognize Senator Carl Rhodes, who made a donation, Representative Jenna Takenouchi, who made a donation, Chair Wes Fong, who made a very generous donation, and Chance, who also attended the Lions dinner. He bought 2 tickets, but he couldn't stay. He had another meeting, so he donated his proceeds. But, you know, quite honestly, you know, I sent out only like 25 donations, and we only got 2 from Jenna and Carl. So, you know, everybody wants a parade, but nobody wants to fork up the money. So the Lions are putting up most of the money, but at some point we're going to hit a breaking point. I just want to, I'm not complaining, but that's the reality. I know businesses are having a hard time. The shutdown is causing a lot of anxiety, but you know, we still got to pay. But anyway, let's have a real good parade. Let's have a safe parade. I hope I see all you guys at the parade and we have a good time. Also, that's what I was mentioning, the fire department, their engine 4 is in our parade. And also District 5, too bad the police are not here, but they're in our parade too. Thank you very much.
Oh, wait, any questions for Vern? I want to thank Vern. He's been doing this for such a long, he's my neighbor, but he's been doing it such a long time. And by the way, my donation doesn't mean that I'm looking forward, but I am really a Corvette again.
Right. At first they said the 6 princes or queens are gonna show up, but now only the Chinatown Queen, so we might have a Corvette for US, so just to let you know, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Sir.
I may not be that pretty, but that's okay. I need, I hit the long walk.
You were pretty last year.
Okay, okay, thanks. Any questions from the board, audience? Any comments? How about from the WebEx? Not Vern, thank you very much. And thank you for Darren. He's really heading up our group. We're going to be walking down. Hopefully it's not going to rain, but it was fun. So hopefully, I hope everybody can join us. It was fun. We have a little pahana after too. So with that, let's see. Any other resident concerns? Yeah, you. Okay. Oh, I gotta go first. Leah, please come on up.
My name is Jean Sakamoto. I live at the end of Pu'unui Avenue. I have my dark glasses on because I just had cataract surgery. Sorry. Okay, my problem is at the end of Pu'unui Avenue, there's a stream and it flooded my property in January when we had a very, very heavy storm. I have a video of it here ruining my yard. I didn't come forward sooner because I didn't think anybody would do. We called the city and county. We called the golf. My property is right next to the Oahu Country Club. We called the Oahu Country Club. They used to clean up that area at the end of the street, but they stopped. The city and county won't do anything. My neighbor said that somebody from the city and county is going to be here. May I talk to you later regarding this? Okay. I haven't had any resolution for this problem. If anybody wants to see what it did to my property, I have it on video. Okay.
It's not a stream, it's a ditch where the water flows down, and the ditch, because of the vegetation, it gets flooded and it backs up into our property, which is the last house on Pu'unui Avenue. And the damage was pretty extensive. We had to fix it ourselves. It's not real grass, it's fake artificial grass that got all displaced and everything. And yeah, no one's doing anything about it. So we're kind of concerned about the damage the next time. And it's going to start raining pretty soon as well, late in the year. So
Can
that's why
can you give us the address?
it's 2753 Pu'unui Avenue. So this is the last house on the right. And it's right off the second tee of Oahu Country Club going, they tee off at that area.
I'm familiar where that is. We have our city representative here, Ed. So maybe you can meet with him after and got any other questions? So any,
We tried to clean the drainage, but it's all plugged up, you know, with rubbish, with plants. I had my grandson clean it.
Mhm.
But, I don't think we should be continuously doing this when we know it's a city and county property. But the city and county property said it's not theirs. The golf course said it's not theirs. Who does it belong to? I mean, it's the end of the road. My property is on this side, my neighbor is across. It's right in the middle.
well, I'm
I
sure,
hope you can,
yeah, I'm sure Ed can figure that one out. I think that's a matter of jurisdiction. So he'll take care of it. Okay. Ed, you want to go meet with him? Thanks.
Worse. What was the only deal on the table? New Hampshire Democrat Gene Shaheen voted to end the shutdown. Was it worth it?
Is someone on WebEx?
The fight about health care for the American people, and they have cleared.
Yes, it's me, Robert.
President Trump.
Robert.
No, yes. I have the same, well, not the same, but I have an issue with the question for the city and county. So I don't know if you want to do it now or you want to wait until the representative comes.
Yeah, go ahead. If you have a concern, why don't you bring it up now? This is under
Okay.
resident concerns. Go ahead and identify yourself again.
Yeah, this is Robert Lau. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay,
my
Rob.
camera is not working. Yeah, sorry about
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
back
go
in,
ahead.
this is February and March of this year, they did a smoke test. The environmental services group came out and then they identified an area they needed to come back and take a look at. And they gave us a date in October. And we haven't had anybody come back to our property as of yet. So we just want to know what the status is of that.
Okay. I can't answer that question. Actually, our representative is talking with the other resident. You know what you could do? You have my email address, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can email it to you.
Yeah. Why don't you email me and I'll pass it on to Ed? Okay.
Okay.
And
Very good.
see what the status is. Thanks, Robert.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody
thank you.
else? Okay. Anybody else on WebEx? Resident concerns?
Actually, I was gonna see if we could add the Pu'unui concern onto the agenda for. Okay. Because we got several concerns from different residents during the Ku'ukini Community Fair last month. The Pu'unui concern that was just brought up was one of those that was mentioned. I'll submit that to our neighborhood board rep. And then we also have concern about the traffic light at the intersection with Ku'ukini Hospital and Ku'ukini Street, that left turn. Some residents were concerned that the pedestrian crossing light takes too long, and they're hoping if that light could be adjusted. Now, at the intersection at Ku'ukini Hospital and Ku'ukini Street, that left turn. And then there's another one of the residents brought up a concern regarding follow-up about the 1162 Hala Drive property. Says that he still notices that 5 unrelated residents are still going in and out of the 1162 Hala Drive property, and then wondering if there's any follow-up from DPP. They're hoping to get some follow-up because they still see 5 unrelated persons going in and out of the property. Yeah. And then the last concern is homeless near the hospital at Ku'ukini, but there's no specifics behind that one. Homeless near the Ku'ukini Hospital, but there's no specifics with that one. Again, there's no specifics. Yeah, but I'll submit it to our neighborhood assistant.
Homeless. We do have the homeless guru with us tonight, so I'm sure that he'll take it under consideration. Thank you. I don't know where you're talking about, but Ku'ukini, if you have any questions. Yeah. Okay, is that it? Great. 1162 Hala Drive, that's, I remember when I was quite a few years ago, we were that, it was called the Monster House. And the problem I think DPP had was trying to get into the house because they didn't get any, but then they have concerns about that. Okay, we'll turn it over to Ed and see what DPP can do. I think the question is, do they have the prerequisite number of residents? I think, and that's their big concern. Are they saying that's is it affecting the parking or the neighborhood? They're making noise or anything like that? Nothing. They just want to know what's going on. Huh? Yes, is somebody there? Robert? What's that? No. Okay. All right.
No.
We'll put it on the agenda for next in January. We'll follow up on it. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody have any
Do you want to come up?
Diana?
We have those speed bumps along Nu'uanu Avenue by the cemeteries. I think they put 2 or 3 small ones. But the question from one of the neighbors was, would we be able to put those speed bumps further down past Judge Street as we go towards Bates? Or would they be too dangerous because they're speeding down and go flying away?
Well, where's the speed bumps?
You have speed bumps by the cemetery, right? Oahu Cemetery and Nu'uanu Cemetery.
And
There's
so what do
several
you,
by Craigside. But
And wh-
would they be able to put more speed bumps to inhibit the speeding down that steep incline on Nu'uanu, between Nu'uanu and Pauoa Road? That was a question from one of our neighbors.
so you're requesting something to slow down the speed of, in new one
Well, it would
and,
have been nice if we had those blinking lights that I'd asked for.
all right, so wait, I'm gonna make sure. This is new one and Poa?
Yes.
Between, no, new one on
Nu'uanu-
Poa?
No, Judd.
Judd,
On
all right.
Nu'uanu Avenue,
Oh, okay,
between Judd and Pauoa.
all right.
The blinking lights would have been nice.
Is it, there are blinking lights, aren't there?
No.
No?
The one that says, you're speeding, and everybody ignores, right? Yeah. And I do want to thank everybody that came out on November 21st. She did, one of your board members, to sign waive with the HPD District 5. Oh, October, sorry. Oh. Yeah, Waylon came out, and is it Walleen? Well, I forgot how to pronounce your name. Miss Christian came out, and
Okay.
she waved with us on the signs. And we want to thank HPD for cleaning out the homeless under the bridge by Nu'uanu and Pauoa. But they came back again under the bridge, the trolls. We call them the trolls there. So that, and I'm anxiously waiting for the city to report their design. Ed, are they here today?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll wait for them.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else? All right, let's move on. Any members of our, Yeah.
I have a concern also for my sub-district. There is also homelessness. They all came back again, and they're mostly, I don't know if it's within my sub-district, but they're at that old dialysis building where they always hang out, you know, where Lilihan School Street is, where that triangle of the freeway. It wasn't there. There was not that much, but like since that new restaurant place where the old food land used to be, now they came back. Now they're hanging out right next to the freeway bridge, and that's my concern because I've always seen them every day, and I always, you know, walk past them. They're always making a mess. They're always housing over the fencing area where there's cars going in and out under the freeway, and right next to that dialysis building, they're always blocking up the sidewalks. And there's a lot of elderly people and this blind people that I see, and they have trouble going through the sidewalk. So but I want to make sure if that area is cleared, and I want to know if those people are getting properly housed, because that's my concern, and especially for the elderly and, you know, disabled community, and especially for our kikis, you know, that are going to school, taking the bus or walking to school.
Lika, where in particularly are you talking about?
Sub-district 4 on School, and so School Street, Liliha Street, on the corner where the freeway is, and sometimes they're right by that medical area, that is right across from Liliha Library.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we'll jot these down as issues to be taken care of by, and we'll refer this to our city rep. So if you have any questions, actually today, you're really fortunate to have someone who maybe can take care of all of these issues, but I'll leave that for him. when he gives his presentation under presentations. An HPD. Is HPD here? HPD, are you back? Are you here?
Yes, sorry about
Oh,
that.
all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Why don't you give your report?
Hello, good evening. I am Sergeant Tabanera with District 5 First Watch. Sorry we were late. We had a little meeting we had to attend, but here is our statistics for the month of October. These include our beats of 569, 570, 571, and 572. So our aggravated assaults, we are at 0, which matches the number we had in September. For our auto thefts, we are at 4, which is 1 up from September of 3. Our burglaries are up 2 to 4 from 2 last month. Our robbery cases, we initiated 1 case in October compared to 0 in September. Our sex assault or rape type of cases, we have 1 for October, which matches 1 from September. We also have 0 simple assault cases, which is down from 2 in September. Our theft type cases, we have 17 in October compared to 8 in September. And our unauthorized entry into motor vehicles, which is car break-ins, we have 2 for October, which matches what we had in September of 2. Our total calls for service for this area was 1,255 compared to compared to September, which was 1,257. So we're down 2 calls. Okay. Any questions from the community?
Any questions from the board? Audience? How about WebEx? Okay, if not, thank you very much, HPD.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too. Any members from the board that attended any meetings that may be of importance to our neighborhood board? Okay, if not, let's move on. Let's see. Umpo, Cora's in here. Cora,
I'm
you
here.
Cora?
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, all right, Cora.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to get to the unmute button during roll call, and I didn't know I could be on camera on my iPad. So anyway, hello. Coming in from Oakland, California, and there was no meeting this month for the Citizens Advisory Committee of the Oahu Planning organization for transportation. It was canceled, and so we'll have a meeting next month and report on that in January with both January and the December meeting.
Okay, good. How was everything in California?
Pretty good. I just arrived about an hour ago. I came in from a wedding in Las Vegas.
Oh, very good. So where are you in Los Angeles now?
Las Vegas this weekend.
All right. Have the ICE guys left already?
From where?
Never mind. That was just a joke. All right. Anyway, thanks for joining us from all the way from California. Okay. All right. Moving right along, presentations. Tonight, we're very fortunate to have the director of the city's Department of Community Services. Actually, he's our city representative's boss, with our city representative as his deputy. And I've known him for quite a long time, and I want to thank him. He's done a heck of a job in regards to the homeless, especially in Chinatown. That's what we work together. And so without further ado, I introduce Anton Crocky, the director of the city's Department of Community Service. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair. It's great to be here. I see a lot of colleagues and people that I've worked with before, so thank you for inviting me to be here. A little bit about the Department of Community Services. We do all the human services activities for the city and county of Honolulu. We have a division called Work Hawaii that does job training and job placement, and very active in that area. They also do direct outreach. And we also have the Public Housing Authority, Community Assistance Division, Section 8 vouchers, home loans, home improvement loans, things like that. We also manage all the HUD money that comes in. You know, if it comes in, in this particular environment, but that group does both property acquisitions and the grants to social services from HUD. We also have the grants and aid for the city. So we do we take the applications in for service providers. And if you know somebody that's a service provider that might be wanting to apply for one of those grants and aids, you only have about another week and a half to do so. And you don't want to be late. You don't want to miss that. So up to $150,000 for those grants and aid. We also have the Elderly Affairs Division, which does our kapuna work, really, aging gracefully in what you do. We also do direct outreach with those folks. You'll see some things in the news about how we're going to participate with kapuna feeding, where they can't get to the lines and wait in lines or navigate how to sign up and those kind of things, where we can take the food to them and directly in that case. We also have the child care office that does its work there. We also have the homeless office, and I've kind of taken notes of the comments there, especially since where we've moved is right there by Kuakini and right there by the cross that you talked about on School Street. So we'll take a look at that. I make sure that's a lot of divisions I got. I want to make sure I don't miss one. Did I miss one, Edward? I think I got them all. Okay, so that being said, I'm glad to be here as the director, but my deputy's right here too. So Edward Los Manos is the deputy and the chief operating officer for the department. We recently acquired a property on School Street, and you probably knew it as the CPB building, where they did data processing work for the bank. And when the city was offered that building by CPB, a very generous offer, Atherton Foundation owned the land underneath it. So we had to negotiate with the Atherton Foundation to purchase the whole piece. But we finished that in end of August, September, right? And so we got the building, and it'll be the home of the new headquarters for the Department of Community Services. And so that's where our headquarters will be, right in your neighborhood, and we'll be hopefully good neighbors for you and also provide services out of the building. So this weekend we moved in. We spent all weekend doing that, unpacking boxes and moving them in, and we'll probably be unpacking boxes, for some time. But we're glad to be here, and we're now residents in this area. Next slide.
Very good. And that's the reason why I invited Anton to come and speak, because he is going to be within our jurisdiction. You folks know where Liliha-Puʻunui Gardens is, right? Home of the homeless. Anyway, he's come down to be with us, and actually now he's familiar with some of the problems we have with the homeless, and he's doing a great job. So I took note of all the areas where we're talking about. It's really close to where his office is going to be. Are you folks familiar where that office is? Oh, everybody knows.
Yeah,
Okay.
right at the top of A'ala.
Yeah.
And for some of you that take that little back route to Kuakini Hospital up that road,
That's
right,
the one.
right on School Street.
Anyway, welcome to the neighborhood. We're looking forward to working with you. Now, any questions from the board? Any comments? Huh? Oh. How about the audience? Yes. Liana, come on up.
How I relate to the state housing office. Well, there's two public housing authorities in the state. The county does the Section 8 vouchers, if you will, and some of the VASH vouchers for veterans. The state public housing authority mostly does properties where they house people with vouchers on the property. So the big community things where they built them up. You have some in your area here. So that's really how we navigate those. There's been some concern from the press about the vouchers and people getting their payments for the vouchers. And although the government is shut down and still shut down, we have our funding through December. And I also have enough in a piggy bank to last me a couple more months. So hopefully we'll be able to weather this storm for those individuals. But that landscape is changing for a lot of our people in Hawaii. When they get the Section 8 voucher, they think they've arrived, and then they don't have to work, and they can have this situation. But there'll probably be some rules coming out from HUD on, they call it under the able-bodied man, where you're going to have to start to show that you're trying to get a job, you're trying to go out and work, you're trying to do those things. So maybe I'd like to tell you a couple of things for the community that we're going to be doing in the building. So it will be our headquarters for the department. So we'll have all of our administrative activities and work product, but we also have the Elderly Affairs Division. And one of the large grants we had that motivated us to have our own building and a headquarters there is bringing up an ADRC. And so the ADRC will bring activities for Kapuna and their family into our offices for help. Next slide. So the ADRC is a streamlined information and services for Kapuna, and it also will serve as a community anchor. So right now we take a lot of calls in a call center, but now we'll have a center that people can come in and use the services in the building and the resources that we offer Kapuna. Next slide. So it's an intergenerational resource center, so a family can meet and they can work on things like how do we help our elder in our family? How do we make sure there's food? What can we do in the relationships of 3 generations, 4 generations in a family, and kind of provide guidance and provide the kind of resources that they can obtain. And next slide. Also, it will have training sessions there. We could have classes that could include not just caregiving for the elderly and such, but we'll do financial classes. We can do cooking classes for healthy eating and things like that. So it'll be a place where people can come in and work with us, and then we'll also find out places where people need us to go to them. That happens to be the case a lot with our Kapuna. Next slide. And we're going to have a computer lab there where people can come in and access via the computers is very important. And some don't have that access, or they may not know how to use it, and they can come in and we'll have people there that can help them. There's so many things to sign up for, to get, and we'd like to make sure that everyone has that world available to them. Next slide. And then we're going to have a place where, kind of a safe place where people can come in and we can do counseling and face-to-face work with folks, and they can feel comfortable there, and we'll do that on our site. Next slide. And in addition to that, one of the things that we're going to be opening up is a command center for homeless. And this is a vision that Edward and I have had for some time. There's like, you capture these situations and people talk about, well, there's a person here, there's a person there. We need to know not just the landscape of where people are, but we need to know the resources that we can offer them. How many beds are available? How many resources are available? And how can we get them there? So when you call CORE, which is 768 CORE, right, we can know what's available for them. Is it a quick shelter fix? Is it a medical needs? Is it a mental health issue? What we really need to service the population that's really varied in the community like this are beds of many flavors. And I will tell you, our homeless strategy really has been to build beds. And then we have an incredible collaboration with the state, and then the state helps us run those operations. And in the last 14 months, we've opened up 529 new beds for homeless. Those beds turn over more than one time a year. Those beds will service over 2,000 folks in one annual year. So, to start to get into that that's really our homeless strategy. I mean, we do enforcements and such, and that's just our way to get connected with people, and also for you to help clean areas up. But we'll probably do 3 weeks of engagement with people before we do an enforcement to not only find out where they're at, but what kind of services we can provide for them. But at the same time, we tell them, look, you gotta go on. We can't have you living on the streets. You really need to come in. And the laws are starting to shift. I mean, there's a lot of folks that their habit is to say, no, I don't need resources. But now the laws are shifting where we can say, you really do need these resources. We want to help you. And so the resource center will help us keep tabs of that. And so I'm sure some of you that I engage with on a regular thing will say, hey, let me see that. And yes, you'll be welcome to come down, take a look at it, even give us some ideas of other things we can track. So we'll be tracking certain informations. We'll be having different databases, and then we'll use artificial intelligence to sort of say, hey, give me a picture this way, give me a picture this way. And hopefully from that, we'll be able to make better decisions that will really help solve problems that are really difficult for people to solve, especially on their own. So that'll be housed in the new headquarters now that I have room to do that. So that's what we'll be doing there. We hope to be good neighbors with you and such. And, we're glad to be part of the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Yeah, let's see, who's first? Loy? All right, Wallet?
So thank you for this presentation. I'd like to ask you about the homeless because we have a really, really big problem statewide. What is the end goal after we put them in the bed? What's the end goal? The temporary is we help them temporarily, but what is the end goal to get them to not be homeless?
Well, for some homeless, their needs vary. I mean, for some people, it's medical care is the goal. You know, you have a population that whether it's you know, they've had uses of drugs or they have mental illness, but just in addition to that, you have a certain population, they just have illnesses. They have cancer, they have diabetes, they're overweight, you know, they have mental problems with their teeth, all those things. And so those folks, we open medical respites and we try to give medical care for them. Some people, housing's not an option. They would not do well in a house. So we have to look for other solutions for them. So when you say, what's the end goal? The end goal is whatever is right for that person. But we want the person engaged in what's right for them as well. And, you know, that it could be housing, but housing isn't the only answer because you know, I would tell you when I took this job that then people wrote that, you know, you put a person in housing, you surround them with services, homelessness will end in 10 years. And here we are today. It's not the case. So that's why I talk about this concept of beds of many flavors. When we built those beds, we had family centers, we had single men's, we had women's, we had medical services, and then now there's a lot of push for, you know, medical treatment. And in fact, the way the movement is for medical treatment is that a person where before they could voluntarily come in or they could turn us down, it's going to be you're having an event and we think you're either in danger to yourself or in danger to other people. I love you, but you're coming with us, and we take them in for an assessment. And so, you know, we're going to start to do those activities. So there's not any one end goal, except we want to help these individuals get off the street because it's not healthy for them to be on the street.
Loy?
Thanks, Chair. Aloha, Director. I have a question related to, I guess, a property up in 1816A Alewa Drive, and this is at the Napuel Park on top of Alewa Heights. It used to operate as an Alzheimer respite center years ago, and I think a few years ago there was a decision to demolish a building that I thought was still in pretty usable shape, and it was so my question is, does that still belong to your department? And if so, what's the future plan for that site?
Yeah, well, we have 68 special needs properties around the island. I don't know that particular one. My partner just wrote down the address. We'll check it out and get back to you on that. And if there's any future uses on that. But like I said, we have 68 properties around the island where they're kind of small centers, right? It might be a home in a community or something like that, servicing 8 people. Different circle and nonprofits run them for us. We don't run them.
Thank you. I look forward to hearing a response in the next meeting.
Sure.
It's up where I live. It's Napuel. It's up where I live. It's Napuel Park. It was actually Alzheimer's. Then now it's vacant.
Okay.
So I think the question was whether or not you're going to take it over, or actually would they want Parks to take it over, and Parks doesn't want it.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Now, you
Comment?
know, our elderly affairs division, you know, Alzheimer's is just a huge issue in our future. And it's something that we try to deal with in this Kapuna Center that we have can help families talk to us about that and deal with that. I think I just went to a conference this summer, and it's one of the things that's most on people's minds as they age as a fear. But we'll catch up to it.
Good.
I think society will.
Well, keep up the good work. Any questions or comments from the audience? How about WebEx? If not, Anton, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. All right. Next on the agenda, we have someone from the Department of Transportation Services who's going to talk to us about the Nuuanu Bates Crosswalk, which has been on our agenda for such a long time. Is somebody from DTS? I know there is. Yes.
Chair.
There you are. Yes.
May,
All right. All
with Complete
yours.
Street.
And you have quite a few interested residents to hear what you're going to say.
I'm sure. Thank you, Chair Fong, and members of the board for having me tonight, as well as letting me participate remotely. I appreciate that. I know we're going to talk about Nuuanu Bates, but I don't think I've been to the board for a while, so I'm going to take this opportunity to give you guys a little bit of an update in general on Complete Streets for Nuuanu and Liliha, with the focus on Nuuanu Bates. Now let's try this. We'll go over to here and let me know if you can see. Whoops. What am I doing here? How do I get back? Sorry. Slideshow. How do I do slideshow here? They keep changing things for me. All right, sorry, you're gonna have to live with me on this. Okay. For those of you that maybe are less familiar with Complete Streets, Complete Streets is a roadway design approach that basically tries to consider everybody using the street, not just cars, people driving, as we've sort of traditionally done
Sorry,
over the
Renee.
last 80 years or so.
Hello, Renee. Sorry, I think your screen might be stuck on the menu page. On our side, we only see the menu page.
For letting me know. Here, how about that? Try again. Does that work?
Yep. And you can put it in presentation
I
mode.
cannot actually. How do I do that? I tried.
You can try view at the top.
I did. Full screen mode is not allowed for some reason. So I'll just
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know why it won't let me do that, but I can hide my menu bar. Okay. Complete Streets, we consider sort of everybody out there, as well as different kind of uses of the street, you know, economic use, social use, etc. We do have a Complete Streets ordinance in city and county. That ordinance says that every transportation project shall implement Complete Streets features. Of course, that's a very simple statement to make. Of course, a much more difficult process to figure out exactly which features are best for the community. But the ordinance is very clear that our #1 goal is safety. Anyone paying attention to traffic safety this year is probably aware that we, you know, have traditionally had about 1 traffic fatality a week on our island, which, for as tight-knit as our community is quite devastating, to be honest. We all know kind of cousins and neighbors of the people that perished on our streets. In 2025, we've been on Oahu alone, not the other islands, having about 2 fatalities a week. And pedestrians in Kupuna are vastly overrepresented in these statistics. We, you know, have something of a pedestrian safety crisis here that we're trying to address. How do we create streets that are safer for all users? This is just sort of how I've tried to distill this approach simply after my years doing it. 1, you have to provide a space for people who are not in cars, right? Obviously, they need a dedicated space to walk, to bike. Ideally, those should be protected facilities. We've moved towards more protected bike lanes, raised sidewalks, things like that. That is not enough. The second is, of course, we have to limit opportunities for vehicles speeding that are sharing the same road. We are all human. We all make mistakes. And unfortunately, people make a lot of mistakes driving every day. So it's really important that we get the speeds of our roads down. I'm sure you guys have seen these statistics before about the exponential relationship that speed has to, you know, the fatality of a crash, right? If you're going 20 and you get hit or you hit someone going 20, more than likely that person's going to walk away. If you hit someone going 40, which is double that, it is, you know, more than a 50% chance that they're going to die. So this is not a linear relationship. Speed is an exponential relationship. So this is really important goal for us. Okay, so take you guys back through history here a little bit. The Liliha-Puʻunui-ʻālewa corridors were actually the first complete streets plans prepared by the city. We passed the ordinance in 2012. We started kind of in earnest trying to develop plans for how to do complete streets around, say, 2015, 2016. Started to hire some staff, and this was the first project that we did. We did both Nu'uanu, Liliha Street. I'm sure many of you participated in these processes. And we have plans for both corridors that we think well-balanced safety with all of the extensive community feedback that we heard through the process. Liliha Street, unfortunately, was sort of paved right in the middle of the planning process. So we were not able to implement those changes with the paving project. This is typically how we do complete streets in an efficient, efficient way. So we sort of missed a big opportunity on that one. So we focused on Nu'uanu Avenue. We developed the designs for the Nu'uanu project up to about 85, almost 90%. There was a sewer project. Was it a water project? I forget. It was a wet utility project on Nu'uanu Avenue that finished and paved the entire road in a pretty decent way. And so that project was ultimately delayed because of limited internal resources and because we're now waiting for the pavement to deteriorate a bit. But we do have plans sort of on the shelf for both of these corridors. You know, this sort of summarizes, we obviously have the plans online. I'm not going to go into detail on what they are tonight. But, you know, this is sort of the big asks that we heard from the community that we're trying to reflect in those longer term plans. Since that time, we've, you know, continued to do system-wide planning on complete streets and Vision Zero and traffic safety. You know, if you can see, I don't know if you guys can see here, the map on the left is a map of priority missing sidewalks. We've got about 900 miles of missing sidewalks on our island. And there are some priority projects actually on Nu'uanu there. And then we've also started to really map some of our high crash locations. And so the map on the right shows our high pedestrian injury locations. Oops, sorry. You can see Liliha kind of is one of those high injury corridors, and there's a couple high injury intersections too on Liliha. Nu'uanu, not quite as much the safety problems. And then we also did our Vision Zero plan where we looked at all of our travel modes. And again, sorry, this map's a little harder to read, but Liliha is coming up again for kind of high injury corridors, and then actually Nu'uanu, the lower piece below Kuakini, is coming up as well. So just sort of reinforcing the need to do improvements in this project, particularly I think in the interim while we wait for these longer term projects to come. So Nu'uanu Avenue, some of the interim things we're working on. You guys were just talking about the speed humps that we worked with State DOT to install up by 15 Craigside to deal with some of the speeding complaints up there near the vulnerable residents. This location as well at Iliahi and Kawila, we do have some quick build solar powered RRFB pedestrian beacons programmed with federal money in a few years. And then, of course, tonight, the focus for Bates Street. So this is the layout for Bates Street in the long-term plan, in the full build plan for Nu'uanu that was developed with the community. We have heard the community's pleas to reinstall the crosswalk, which I don't know if I need to go through history on that, but was not remarked following the paving project that I referenced earlier, because we can no longer mark 4 lanes of crosswalk without some kind of safety feature. We no longer are encouraging people to try to cross 2 lanes of traffic in each direction with no median in the middle, and you know, no benefit of a flashing beacon. So this is the layout that was we came up with a long time ago. Basically has a left turn pocket going Malco bound onto Bates, a small refuge island, 1 lane Malco bound, and then the 2 lanes Mackay bound to address school traffic in the morning, and then off-peak parking once that traffic is gone. This is what our near-term layout is going to look like. Sort of similar, where we've got 2 lanes maintained going Mackay bound, and then we'll still have parking after the morning peak. We are gonna have the same left turn pocket here onto Bates and then one through travel lane. Wait, is this right? Oh, sorry. My apologies. This is actually the full build plan, full build design. So the first one I showed you was the plan we developed the community. This is the 90% design. This is concrete. This is what it will ultimately be. So description is the same, but the improvements are in concrete in the full build plan. This is the project that does not have funding currently. This is the rendering of what it'll look like. And it's nice because it's full build, right? You have curbs, brand new sidewalk. I don't have money for that right now. So this is what I can do. We can do a quick build approximation of that. So we're going to use striping and delineator posts to mock up basically the same layout. So I don't know if you guys can see on the top, there will be 2 lanes going mock-abound as there are obviously today. The leftmost lane will become what we kind of call like a trap left. And if you want to continue straight, you'll have to be in the right lane. And then from the right lane, you carry on. There'll be parking obviously off peak. I don't think we're making signage changes as part of this for all the parking. So parking will still have the same restrictions it has now. And this is kind of a zoom in of what that looks like. And that includes, I don't know if you guys have seen one of these. I should have put a picture. There are a few on North King Street, like by the Kalihi Post Office, for example, where we just restored a crosswalk there. Some very similar materials if you want to go check that out. As part of that, I am planning to bid that out so that we can have some high quality striping materials. Our in-house crews use traffic paint, which doesn't last quite as long. So we're bidding this out. I found funding from various sources I've kind of cobbled together in honestly a very, very fiscally constrained year. And we're also planning to include this in the bid as well. This is the turn at Judd Street. Sorry, there is a street on the bottom here. It's just not shown. This is the Craigside street here. We're also going to be requesting what you call this, kind of a radius line and some delineators here to keep people from cutting the corner at the corner of the cemetery at Judd Street. Liliha Street, real quick. We do have a project in design right now to do a restriping of Liliha and try to implement some of the changes that were developed with the community a while back. We will come back to you guys soon once we have those concepts developed. So just in summary, our next steps, we are waiting to advertise the striping improvements at Nu'uanu Bates and Nu'uanu Judd. We unfortunately don't control the full schedule of that, but once our purchasing division posts it online, should be, I don't know, a few months after that, by the time we get the contractor selected and then we get all the street usage permits and everything. It's a really simple project. They can probably do it in a week's time or something. Like I said, we'll come back with some bigger corridor striping changes for Liliha. And then we are continuing to work on those quick build improvements at the lower crosswalks on Nu'uanu, where we unfortunately do have a history of crashes.
Okay, I think let's open up to questions now. Any questions from the board, first of all? Yes, Donald?
Have you folks considered no left turn on red on Nu'uanu Street and Liliha Street as a safety precaution?
At where? For both of them? Both corridors, you mean?
Yes. Because right now, if you look at the drivers, when they're coming down and they're going to make a right turn, they're not looking at the pedestrian. They're looking at the next car or the car going across. So on Vineyard, you have these 3 streets that there is the sign, no right turn on red. And that was a national concept that was for safety. So the question I have is that on Nuano and Liliha Street, I propose you folks look at no right turn on red as a safety precaution.
Did you get that?
I did. It's a good comment. Our engineers are a little, they're reluctant to adopt it as like a broad policy, like, we should just have no right turn on red. But they are really open to looking at certain intersections and making adjustments, where there are a lot of pedestrians and a lot of turns. So if you have specific locations, that would probably be the most helpful, and we can certainly investigate that. But it's a great solution, and honestly pretty cheap too, which I always appreciate.
Go ahead, Donald.
Well, the one I want you to look at right now is Nuano and Koikini, because we had a health fair, and we had about 2 complaints from residents stating that the cars that's coming down Nuano and making a right turn, they're not, there were a couple incidents where the person said they almost got hit. And the reason I believe is that nowadays drivers not looking at the pedestrian. So if they're not looking, we got to make so-called laws more stringent. And we have to force these people to observe the pedestrian as a safety issue. Thank you.
Chair.
Did you get that? Coming
that
down to
Mackay-
Nuano, turning
Mackay
right in
bound?
Kuakini, and the recommendation was, if you can, no right turn on
Mackay
red.
bound right turn. Is the Mackay bound right turn onto Kuakini?
Why don't you just go and check that out for us, okay?
Chair.
Thank you. Next question, yes, go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have the answer, but we had a question about removing the no right turn on Leaky Leaky and School going Eva bound. And
It's
we
gonna
never
be a
got
state intersection, I think, Carol.
right. And we
Yeah.
went, well, it's both, right? But we never
Well,
got a
they trump
response.
us. They trump us typically. If it's a city road intersecting a state road, more times than not, it's a state jurisdiction.
Yeah,
But I can pass it
No,
on.
I think it's
Look.
Senator Kim is looking into that. We had that issue. But, I want you to focus on what we're here. It's on our agenda, not, I appreciate the fact that we have complete streets because we do have a representative. But we're here in regards to the residents that are affected by no crosswalk on Bates and Nuano. So that's what we want you to kind of concentrate on. And I'm going to ask, Leanna, you have anything after she's made a presentation? Or do you want to just wait to see what they do?
You're telling us that this island that you're proposing is going to be next year at what time? Spring. Okay, and we're going to put,
Honestly, I can't, there's so many things outside of my control, but I'll try to get it for you as soon as I can. We submitted the requisition. We're just waiting for them to post it.
okay, because our concern has been aired to the city since 2018. Okay, I've written Kurt Caldwell, I've written current mayor, I've done letters to the editor. It's been ongoing, and we'd like to see a crosswalk soon. And we've also asked, and I know that former city councilwoman Carol Fukunaga had put in a request for those blinking lights. And now you're going to put it down the street rather than us. We had first dibs.
It's not, ma'am, there are a million places I would love to put these lights. We have a lot of locations with very high proven crash rates that I need to put them at first. So I just beg that you can understand that. And we're trying to do everything we can to put this crosswalk back as soon as we can.
Okay, because the comment that one of your representatives said was that we had too much tree canopy and the solar lights couldn't come through. Remember
It is a
that?
concern. It is a concern. We have the same concern down at Coahuila Street. So we're gonna try it down there because we have a lot more crashes that have happened down there. And we'll see how it goes. And if it works okay, then maybe, maybe Bombay, we, can.
As a side thing, you're supposed to need to look at the canopies and trim the trees. Okay, the city's responsible for that. And by the way, we misspelled Coahuila. There's no W in the L-A. Let's spell the Hawaiian words
Okay.
correctly.
All right.
Also, the intersection that member Don said about Nu'uanu and Kuakini, that's heavily traversed by children from students from Kawananakoa, HBA, and the Sikh schools. I propose that you folks have an all crossing kind of thing. Because these kids dawdle.
Yes.
And they take their sweet time and you can't make a turn, even if your light is green. They're crossing the street, taking their time, and you can't make that turn. So why don't we do something like what we do in Waikiki, where you have an all-purpose, all directions, one time for that. That way we don't have to worry about pedestrians and turning right or left.
We can look at it. It tends to create a lot of traffic. Because no cars can move for quite a while. So we can look at it, but it generally they're only they're only warranted where you have lots and lots, like as many peds as you see when school lets out, like that all day long is typically the kind of places that get it. But I can ask about time of day maybe.
Okay, with this island that we're proposing, I hope we're not taking too much, or we're not taking away off-street parking from our condos up the street. That was one of the concerns when you first proposed, because I was on your Complete Street project before I had my surgery. That was one of the objections that those folks, the residents there, had about Nu'uanu. They were very careful that we will not take away parking from the residents there in the condos.
Yeah, we heard that loud and clear. The plan actually makes it parking, because we can go down to one lane, Mauka bound, we can actually allow parking all the time too, instead of restricting it during certain times. So we hope that the community will actually come out better on parking maybe than now, where they have to move their car. We know there's a lot of nurses and things too that park on the street to service the building, and that peak hour restriction I know is inconvenient for a lot of them. So yes, we hear that. We hear you.
Okay.
You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna in January, because we don't meet in December, can you come back and give us a update in regards to what's happening in regards to the Bates Nu'uanu crosswalk and the area we're concerned about?
I think we have a few neighborhood boards already lined up in January. Could I send you a written response? Would that be okay?
No, why don't you come back to us? Then we have any questions, then we can ask you. Is that okay?
Let me look at it, Chair. I'm sorry. I have 33
yeah.
neighborhood boards, and like we have projects in half of them probably actively. So let me look, and let me make sure we're making progress that I can share too.
Well, I'd like to invite you to come down and come in person and give us a report. Then we have any questions, that'd be great. If you don't mind.
Okay, if I don't have my son, I can try to do that. I'm sorry, I'm a mom. I have a little boy, so that's why I love being able to do this at home.
Yeah. Can we have it through our city rep? We'll have our city rep invite you down to January's meeting and give us an update, because it's been on our agenda for a long time. Is that okay with everybody?
Sorry, what is the concern? Is it just the timing at this point?
Well, no, just give us an update in regards to the Bates and Nu'uanu crosswalk area, just tell you how's the progress going along, and if there are any other questions.
Okay, so you just want an update on this. No need any details about, you just want when.
Well,
when this is going in.
There were a lot of issues that were brought up. I'm sure that you can, take care of them after in January. Just come on back. I don't want to spend the whole meeting tonight. That's why. Okay, you gave a good presentation.
Chair, I have a question.
Yes,
Hi, good evening. My name is Wallen Christian. New Wanu and Bates is actually my sub-district area. I'm the rep there. I would like to ask, I understand that you folks are doing a lot and all over the island. However, as we have heard that they've been asking this since 2018, what does it take to get at least one crosswalk put on the ground by Bates so that they can cross? So the issue with the crosswalk is that they have to walk to either side of the stoplights just to get to the bus stop, which is smack dab in the middle between the two stoplights. What does it take to get at least one crosswalk put down on the ground so that the residents have that crosswalk to go either way so that they can get to the bus stop? Because we do have a lot of elderly.
okay, you don't have to answer
It
that
takes
question. You
this.
don't mind.
This
Look, why don't you come
this
back in
layout right
Why don't you
here.
come back in January and tell us
Sarah,
what it
can I just
is?
finish this
I'm
point?
sorry, go ahead.
Let me finish the point. This design is exactly what it takes to get the crosswalk restored. This is the way that we have heard you guys loud and clear that you want this crosswalk. You don't want to wait for the full project. This is the design that we have proposed that we're actually are about to bid out that will restore the crosswalk. And I will update you on the timing of that as I make progress. I promise.
Okay, you know all of the questions that you were posed by our board. Do you mind coming back again in January to address all these issues?
Chair, like I said, I'm not sure. I may have a conflicting board. I can't commit to January right now. I will, the speed bumps like on Nu'uanu, lower Nu'uanu, I think those are too steep. But I can look into that, and then I'll look into the no right turn on red at Kuakini and the all-way crossing. And we'll let,
Okay.
honestly, it's most helpful when you guys provide these specific questions in the monthly reports to the departments, because that way they don't get lost and everyone can see them. So that would be ideal, actually, so that it's not just me who has to follow up, but our whole department can work on it together.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on the agenda, and I've got it all listed here. And I'll send a copy to our city representative, and he can relay that to you. And then you'll be able to, address all of the issues that were brought up this evening. Is that okay? If you can't come, can you have somebody else come in January to answer our questions and, take care of our issues?
If you put it on the monthly report, we'll follow up.
Okay.
Put the request.
I'll
on there
make
as well.
I'll ask I'll extend an invitation through our city representative, and I'll try to outline all the issues that were brought up this evening. Is that okay?
Yeah, it may be someone from our transportation engineering group might be better to address the no right turn on red, the all-way crossing, stuff like that.
And we'd love to have you come down and meet with us in person and explain. It's easier that way. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Loy, and let's just
Real quick, seeing this design for the first time, if you could just add to the plate, maybe respond next time. I traveled that on the afternoon commute coming up. I'll make that Nu'uanu and left turn on Judd. With that lane taken off, I would imagine that's going to impact, all the residents, all the condo residents over there, and all the people who need to make that left at the intersection. Has anybody looked at how much that's going to impact the delay during peak hours? I understand there are restricted parkings there, but the reason that there are restricted parking is to make sure this, people don't unreasonably wait that long and create a gridlock downstream. So I'm hoping that somebody has looked at this before proposing this design. And I think sounds like all the community is asking is maybe a steep speed hump with a center medium and a crosswalk, some additional lighting and flasher. So to me, that's not that hard. From construction background, that's probably just weeks. It shouldn't be months or years.
Okay. I think
It's a good question about the traffic analysis. We did do traffic modeling for the corridor. The beauty of this interim improvement actually is it also allows us to test that, right, without building everything in concrete. So if we do see issues, it's pretty easy to adjust because it's just striping and delineator posts. For the blinking lights, I will tell you, it takes us about 6 to 7 years to navigate the federal funds that it costs and the historic preservation permits that get triggered when we try to dig and do hardwired. It's insane, the kind of thing. So we're looking at the solar and the low cost improvements at some places, but they come with a ton of maintenance needs as well. So we're trying to figure this crosswalk thing out because this is not the only location by far that has this issue. So
Okay,
I
well,
appreciate the comment.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Again, we're looking forward to seeing you in January. Then, as I said before, I'll extend an invitation through our city representative and try and list all of the issues that we have brought up. But thank you very much for your presentation. Anything else from the board that's real pressing so we can ask her? Yes.
Hi, thank you for coming out and giving us your presentation on Uanu Bates as well as the Complete Streets projects going on in our area. I just want to make sure I heard one thing correctly during your presentation, because this is the impression I got in that, and this is not verbatim per se, but did you say that the traffic striping paint that the city is using is not made to last, and that's why you guys are outsourcing, and again, not verbatim, outsourcing this job or this temporary job for Nuanu Bates?
Yeah, so our maintenance crews are not set up to do new installations, right? They are maintenance crews, so they touch up paint. They don't do, like when we pave roads, we pretty much almost always hire that out because they have way better state of the art, like striping equipment and everything that our kind of simple maintenance crews maintain, right? They're not construction crews per se. So they are somewhat limited in some of the applications that they can use. Basically, there is a broader suite of better materials that we can tap when we work out.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Anybody else? Audience? WebEx? If not, thank you very much for the presentation. And again, we'll see you in January.
Sorry, Chair.
I'm
This
sorry.
is Jenna.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jenna, yes.
Sorry, just a real quick comment. I don't want to hold up the meeting, but I did really just want to thank Renee and the Complete Streets team and DTS for coming out, if that's okay. And I know there's some questions, but I really think, I know this has been a long time standing thing. I've been talking to DTS also separately about this. If we want to get the crosswalk back here, I really think this is them making their best effort to kind of get this safety feature, reinstalled. And I really appreciate that. I think, because it's the quick build, they've really put their attention to this effort. And I really hope, we can kind of get this done. I think the questions, Renee can probably send back as a report. And I know they're kind of ready to, when I've talked to them kind of separately, I know they're really ready to kind of like get this funded. And I really would hate to, hold up that process. I think it's going to be actually really minimal impact to the district from what I see and what I've been on the Complete Streets walk audits myself back with Takashi and stuff when I was a staffer. So, if the crosswalk coming back is the goal, I really hope we can just kind of get this done. Because it's also something I'd like to see come back for the community. Just wanted to say that and thank DTS for their attention to Bay Street in this way.
Thank you very much, Jenna. Anybody else? Okay, if not, let's move on. Mayor's representative, Edward.
Hello and good evening. Edward Los Banos, Deputy Director, Department of Community Services, Mayor's Rep for Neighborhood Board 14. A few highlights from the mayor's. His full newsletter can be found at honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. Skyline Segment 2 opened up, adding 5 miles and 4 new stations, including 2 big job hubs for us, Pearl Harbor as well as Daniel K. Inouye Airport. We did see quite a boost in our ridership of rail as a result of this new segment opening up, and it's only been a few weeks. Also, the city's early education center has relocated, so we can do some long overdue repairs to the municipal parking structure. Final announcement from the newsletter is that new sewer rates will go in effective January 1st, 2026. Also on that newsletter site, you can sign up for to be included on press release distribution. So every time the city does a press release, if you're interested in those, you can go to that newsletter site, and you can also sign up to receive our press releases that we provide. And finally, final announcement we have from the mayor is invite everybody interested in attending Friday, November 28th, Royal Hawaiian Band's Kaliki Makaho'omau at the Blaisdell Concert Hall at 7 p.m. It'll be free to the public, but first come, first service for our seating. So the concert hall only has so many seats. Concert will feature Henry Kapono, Raiatea Helm, Kamehameha School's Children's Chorus, as well as a number of other special guests. Also, you can also get a sneak peek. A lot of the Honolulu City lights have shifted over because we have the active construction project there, over to Thomas Square Park. So ahead of the official tree lighting ceremony, if you do attend that concert, you can walk through and enjoy the lights, which will start on November 28th over there at Thomas Square.
What time was the free concert at, where's that, City Hall?
The Neo Blaisdell
Oh, Neo
Concert
Blaisdell.
Hall at 7 p.m.
What time?
November 21st. Oh, no, sorry, November 28th. Sorry, I was a week early. November
At-
28th at 7 p.m. Blaisdell Concert Hall.
And first come, first serve?
Yes. But if you can't make it in there, you can check out the holiday lights over at Thomas Square. That will start one day early. It's going to be that show Aloha Land, so it's going to be that same thing that you saw the Holiday Grounds last time, but in a much smaller area, and we're excited about that one. In terms of updates, on my agenda here, I have North School Street and Kokea improvements to preclude accidents. So that one, the lighting concern that was raised, I think the ticket was generated. It'll go over to DDC to address some of the street lighting concerns that in the areas concern was too dark. The other thing that they are doing, they are working to install the rapid flashing beacon to enhance pedestrian safety and visibility. As Renee just presented, this is kind of a long lead item for the city to install one of these things. So that one is a slated project in the priority pecking order that Renee had described to begin in fall of 2026 for the rapid flashing beacon. But one is planned, one is ordered, one is underway. Not on my list, but on my list here was concerns about Liliha-Puʻunui-ʻālewa School Street intersection. Whether the sensors are working, and because it sure takes a long time. So they did take a look. They did notice that there was a spike in traffic. They're trying to modify. So everything was working. Sorry, everything was working properly at the intersection, but they do see and recognize that the spike in traffic. So they did extend some of the left turn lane timing a little bit, so to improve some of the traffic flow in that area, particularly around the time when Kapalama Elementary School gets out. That seems to be one of the big peak hours for them. So I did talk to Member Kaapula earlier today, and she did mention it takes 2 lights instead of 3 lights now to get through that intersection. So 33% improvement. Otherwise available for questions.
How about the Lanakila Street, more parking for public?
Oh, sorry. The Lanakila DTS did do a site inspection and audit. The contractor did take a lot more stalls than they were supposed to. They were only permitted for 6 stalls. So they have reached out to the contractor. You'll see enforcement happen soon. But they should only have 6 stalls. They had coned off a lot more than 6.
Good, very good. Any questions from the board? Yes, Loy.
Deputy Director Edward, mahalo for your help, and that's a welcoming news to know that there will be enforcement action coming to make sure that the contractor doesn't overtake what they're permitted for. I noticed that the permitting is even extending to Kuakini now, so there seems to be even more contractors. So hoping that to strike a balance, especially on weekends, if they're not working or if the HPHA staff is not working, they can use their parking and leave the street parking for the public to use, especially for like the children that is going to use the gym for big tournaments and stuff. One example I wanted to share is that in case you haven't passed through the neighborhood, this is on Palama and EL Lane. So it's across from the Labor's Union office. There's a particular business, and recently they, on their own, they installed a light there, like on their building, and they also cast really good light on the intersection. So kudos to them for, I guess, indirectly, I don't know if they intended to as a public service, but I do see that's the type of improvement that would be helpful in the locations that, you know, in the past during at night or at dusk, there may be accidents. So something to that effort, maybe just encourage those planners or engineers to also take a look, drive there at night and just to compare the difference.
Okay. Thank you, Lloyd. Anybody else on the board? Yes, Brendan.
Deputy Director, how are you? Thank you for your report. You know, a few of my neighbors approached me regarding this request. They're asking for a traffic safety study at the intersection of Liliha Street and Wiley. And these are coming from neighbors who walk their children to Ma'ema'e school from the neighborhood. And the reason why they're asking for it is because as cars are coming down Wiley towards Pu'unui this way, as they're making the left turn into the intersection, cars are having a hard time seeing the individuals that are crossing the street this way. And the reason why is they think, this is their hypothesis, that the crosswalk is too close to the intersection. But you can have your traffic engineers check, because I'm not exactly sure the technical expert engineering analysis, but there have been many near misses at that intersection.
Sorry, can you describe the crosswalk? Is it left turn up from Wali going Mackay down Liliha?
Left turn off of Wiley going down Liliha, heading towards the
Mackay,
ocean.
yeah.
Yes. And then the constituents are also requesting for speed enforcement as well. I know that that area has a higher fine sign up there because it's close to a school, but maybe just to have individuals slow down. They're going very fast in front of the school.
Okay, I'll put that on the agenda, Brandon.
Thank
So basically, it's a traffic study for the Wiley Liliha intersection to avoid accidents.
Yes.
All right.
And then I have one more quick one.
Cool.
The quick one is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the steel stanchions, the ones that say stop. They have one in front of the Starbucks in Manoa. It's like this little metal sign. They have one by Stevenson Middle School as well, right? So they used to have two in front of my elementary, but people are going so fast that they hit it, then they flatten it, then the principal of my takes it off the road, puts it on the fence, and then throws it away. So we're wondering if the city could put up two more stanchions up there. I know it's tough, right? When I used to work for council, it's hard because they keep knocking it down. But I think it's important that we create that so that we let drivers know in a real way that the school is right there. I think some people are using it as a shortcut, maybe to the windward side, the pulley or something. So they don't know that it's a school. But I don't know how much clearer we can make it. But if we put those two stanchions back up there again, it's just one like right in front of the crosswalk and then one kind of after it. There's just those two. And that's it. And I think that the speeding enforcement will help that issue as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the board?
So, right at the intersection of Wiley and Pu'unui, right? So, I remember one time when I was crossing that same street, I almost got hit. And the the drivers didn't really see me, and it was really at night, like maybe almost late at night, and I just got off the bus so I can just exercise to go down home rather than just sticking the bus because I decided to go for a walk, right? I almost got hit, but just to let you guys know.
Okay. Anybody else from the audience? WebEx? If not, thank you, Ed. And let me tell your boss that Anton, he's doing a great job. Give him a raise. Thank you. Yes. He's leaving. Okay. Moving right along. Let's see. Council member Tam's office.
Hello, everyone. This is Will Duke. I'm the comms director for Councilmember DeSantis Tam. Just covering for Peggy tonight. She's off island. Just one update about the leash park that's been in conversations as of late. That request is moving through the Parks Department, so we hope to have more updates about that soon. But the process has started. That's it for this week, so I'm available for questions.
Great. Any questions for the council member? Okay, if not, moving along. Oh, you do. Go ahead, Donald.
What happened to the so-called walkway on Judge Street? What is the status on that?
You mean sidewalks?
Yeah, that well.
You
it's
just said walkway. I
called-
said sidewalk.
a sidewalk, but it can be asphalt. But anyway, what is the status on that?
I'm not super familiar with this part of the district, just covering, but I will definitely look into that and I can bring you guys more information, or Peggy will bring you guys more information next month.
Okay, thank you.
I'll put it on
Thank
the
you.
agenda. I'll put it on the agenda, Donald. All right, moving right along. Let's see. Senator Rhodes. You have a raised hand here? I can't see much.
Yeah.
Yes, who? Go ahead. Whoever is
Hi,
raising his hand.
Senator Rhodes is here. Hello.
Sorry, this is Renee with Complete Streets. I had a comment on Judd Street sidewalks. Do you want it?
Hello, good evening. I heard Senator Rhodes' name. I'm Senator Rhodes' representative.
Sorry, Edith. 1 second. I think Renee
okay.
wanted to share something about the question for Member Nita.
Oh, are you referring to sidewalks on Judge Street?
Yeah, so
No?
Judd Street, so this is a very frequent request that we get from everyone. We let's see, where do I start? There is a very historic middle point of Judd Street, right? Where the large tree is, the historic rock walls, those beautiful homes. We cannot fit in sidewalks on that section without, and keep two-way traffic without impacting like those historic resources. And so I will just tell you, the city is very reluctant to start a project on Judd Street for sidewalks, because I actually don't, we can make improvements on other parts of the corridor that are wider. We could even look at some quick build striping stuff on the wider portion, but unless like, I just want you guys to appreciate that it is a very, very challenging corridor, and it will likely result in some impacts to historic properties, which means it's probably not a good candidate for federal funding, which means we don't really have money for sidewalk improvements. So anyway, we can talk about it more in the future, but I just wanted you to appreciate that this is a very, very challenging corridor to do sidewalks in, primarily because the right of way is so constrained at the middle point that there's literally no space.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for your comment, and I know it's very challenging. That's why we've been waiting for such a long time, but I believe this challenge can be handled, will be handled by our council member one way or another, but thank you for your comment. Okay, thank you. All right, moving right along, Senator Rhodes' office.
Okay, my name is Edith. I'll be representing Senator Rhodes. He's not here today. So for Senator Rhodes, last meeting, October 13th, 56 million in general obligation bond funds have been released as a cash infusion for rental housing, revolving fund for HPHA, Kali Momi Development, Mayor Wright Homes. Regarding the car park, the Department of Transportation informed the Office of Senator Rhodes that they do not know what will become of this project as of now, but they are still working on it. Senator Rhodes has held a series of informational briefings on the rule of law in relation to recent actions of the Trump administration and how its decisions are impacting the state. Information about past and upcoming briefings can be accessed on the Senate Judiciary Committee webpage through the legislative website www.capitol.hawaii.gov, and videos of the briefing are available on the Senate YouTube channel through the live and on-demand video tab of the website. The Office of Senator Rhodes will be preparing bills for next session. If you have any bill ideas, please let the office know as soon as possible, as soon as you can. And also, please do not hesitate to contact Senator Rhodes' office if you have any more information or question on 808-586-6130. I will type the number on the chart. Thank you so much.
Are you going to address the increased sanctions or fines for traffic violations that's on our agenda? Hello?
Hi, sir. Yes, please. I
Did you
didn't get the question.
Yeah. On our agenda, under Senator Rhodes, we have increased sanctions or fines for traffic violations. He was supposed to get back to us on that issue. Do you have anything to report?
For the increased sanctions or fines, not yet. We'll take this question back to the senator and he will update as required.
Okay, I'll leave it on the agenda. Thank you. Any
Thank you,
questions
sir.
from the board? From the audience? How about WebEx? Okay, moving on. Senator Kim.
Oh, hello, this is Savannah. I'll be reporting on behalf of Senator Kim's office. Our community report has been sent digitally to the chair and board members. Community members that are attending virtually can also send their email for a copy of the community report to our office email at sendkim@capitol.hawaii.gov. For community updates, I do have an item on the red light and speed camera program. So it was initially just giving out warnings and it is now issuing citations starting the beginning of this month. Cameras at the 10 different Oahu intersections can catch vehicles that run red lights or go over the posted speed limit. They have been only issuing warnings up until this point. So confirmed violations will result in citations being mailed to the vehicle owners. Red light violations will garner a $97 fine, and speeding violations will range from $167 to $317. We have had an outpouring of concerns made to our office, so we contacted DOT to relay many of these questions and concerns surrounding the program, and we will report DOT's response on social media and at the next neighborhood board meeting. Just a quick update on the Kamehameha schools regarding vegetation between the fence and wall. Kamehameha schools responded to Rep. Takenuchi and Senator Kim about the ongoing situation with grass and plant growth between the school's fence and retaining wall on the Kapalama property border. The school did say that they will research and identify herbicides to manage plant growth along and beyond the property line, and they will safely spray the impacted area for about a year and then fully transition maintenance to homeowners. So they're going to coordinate with neighbors directly. So that's going forward, going to be dealt with between those two parties. Legislative updates in wake of the federal government shutdown. There are programs available for those who need it. We have the Expanded Relief and Family Assistance Program, so that can provide up to 4 months of housing and utility assistance for families with children facing financial hardship. The Department of Human Services has contracted Catholic Charities Hawaii to administer the program on Oahu. Applications open October 29th. Families do not have to be SNAP beneficiaries to qualify. And for more information, you can apply at Catholic Charities Hawaii's website, or you can call Aloha United Way 211 line and they'll connect you. There's also the Hawaii Emergency Food Assistance Program. So that's a new state-sponsored food benefit that's separate from SNAP. It can provide a benefit of $250 per person in a household, and the program will be restricted to purchase food and groceries at retail locations that accept EBT cards. Households that were approved for the November 2025 SNAP benefits of the standard processing cutoff date of October 28th will automatically receive benefits. And DHS anticipated those benefits will be available for use for purchase of food and groceries effective today, Monday, November 10th. Households currently not receiving SNAP can still apply for that benefit. And that is all I have for tonight, but I'll be on the line if there are any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Can you go over the fines for, you said that now they're going to start enacting fines for going through a red light and speeding. What were the fines again? How much for going through a red light?
So,
$97?
Correct, for red light violations, and then speeding violations, depending on, I think, how much over the speed limit you're going, they'll range from 167 to 317.
157 to what?
167 to 317.
Does it go up by every 5 miles more or?
That is actually something that we reached out to DOT about, because we haven't really heard what the exact threshold over the speed limit is that they're going to be charging.
I have a last question,
Yes.
Actually, if I see a yellow light,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I'm close to the intersection and I go through the yellow light and I'm in the intersection when the yellow light is still on, that's not a violation, is it?
To me, it doesn't seem like it should be, but I think that is a concern that's been brought up. People speeding up to get through the light, especially at certain intersections where it's like 25 miles per hour potentially. So
That's okay. I think my jury, which consists of my board, said no, it isn't. Okay. My legal advisors here tell me that if I enter the intersection and it's yellow, it's not a violation, but I will definitely not hire them as my attorney. Thank you very much. Any questions from the board? Not? How about from the audience? None? All right. How about from WebEx? All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks,
you.
Senator. Let's see. Representative Takanouchi.
Hi, Chair.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Yes, I just wanted to reiterate the work with Kamehameha schools with the residents that was given in Senator Kim's report. The school did indicate that they would be reaching out directly to each of the residents to do additional paperwork about the fire break issue if you guys wanted to take that off the agenda. If not, happy to continue to report on that. But they will be reaching out to each of the individual property owners about the fire break to kind of, work out that legal jurisdiction. I think they're going to be trying to do some short-term maintenance and then in the long term give access to the area for additional maintenance on behalf of the residents. For that, did just want to share that I am hosting my last park talk of the year. If I know some of you have come out to them, some of the residents. These are the little talk stories I've been doing at the parks all over the district. My last one for this month is actually going to be on Wednesday the 12th. I'm going a little bit outside of the boards area, but you're all welcome to join, or anyone who's watching. It's going to be at Booth District Park in the meeting room, which is in the gym. So we're going to be there on Wednesday, November 12th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. and just open talk story about whatever anyone wants to come talk about. I will send that information into the chat as well as the link that I've been trying to share with everybody. I'm going to post all things I'm doing across the district whenever on this bit.ly link to just, come out whenever you can. I know everybody's busy, so join any of the events that we're doing. just want to give a quick update. If you or anyone that you guys know live in a condo, the DCCA, State Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Real Estate Division, shared some information about a Condorama event. These are educational events to share about, just things to educate condo owners. It's a webinar that's happening this Saturday, the 15th, from 9 to 10:30 a.m. And their topics this Saturday are going to be do's and don'ts of construction, how property directors and officers' claims are processed, and construction about how to prevent lawsuits. So if you guys want to share any information about that, I know we have some condos along the Uanu Avenue that might want to take advantage of that, or just share with a friend. I think that's all I have for my report. If there's any questions, again, happy to take stuff back.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I want to thank you, and can you also extend, I forgot to extend a thank you to Senator Kim for working with Kamehameha and the residents' concerns in regards to Kamehameha and the adjoining property. I know you folks have been working with, both as sort of like a mediator, and it's actually working. So I really we appreciate your efforts. Any questions from the board or? Yes. Who's that? Oh, Brandon. Good, Brandon.
Representative,
Hi, Brandon.
thank you. Aloha. Thank you for your report. Can you repeat to me when your booth park talk is again? And then from what time to what time?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. So it's this Wednesday, so day after tomorrow, the 12th. We're going to be at Booth District Park in the meeting room, which is attached to the gym at the park. There's street parking all around. The park doesn't really have a parking lot, but there's street parking in the residential around there. The address is 2331 Kenaali'i Avenue, but it's, if you're familiar kind of with the area, it's the park that's between Kenaali'i and Paoa Road. And we will just be there for any questions or anything from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I thought I sent that information to all of you. I did, yeah. If you need it again, I can send it to you, Brandon.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board, from the audience? How about from MedX? Okay. Thank you, Representative. All right.
Thank you, everybody. See you later.
Okay. Representative Holt's office.
Aloha.
Oh, hi.
Good evening, everybody. It was good to see some of you folks last month at the resource fair that myself and Representative Takanouchi hosted at the Kuakini Hospital. Just wanted to give a special thanks out to Kuakini for allowing us to use their space. But we had over a dozen nonprofits and community organizations and almost 100 community participants come by and visit the booths and take in all the information that was provided there on that day. Again, thanks to Rep. Takanouchi for coordinating that. And if that's something that you guys appreciate, maybe we'll do that again next year or something. Also we're taking very close watch of the federal government shutdown and trying to take care of our constituents. It's already been mentioned about the $250 additional SNAP benefits out of the state and some of the other programs. But we also had set aside $50 million to administer to some nonprofits. So again, Representative Takanouchi and I are the House representatives for the committee. I don't know what we're calling it, selection committee. And we're currently going through over 200 applications, which we took in, with requests of over $150 million, which really shows the need that we have throughout the community for different nonprofits and services affecting our communities. So, we're currently going through the process of vetting out those applications, and we'll be awarding a bunch of the nonprofits funding in the next couple of weeks. So, we're looking forward to getting that out of our hairs. It's been a heavy load to go through all of these different applications. And Also has been mentioned by Senator Rhodes' office, session is coming around, and we're gonna miss you guys in December. So it's really important to get us your ideas for session, which is coming around in January. So if you have anything, I'm sure any one of us, myself, Rep. Takanouchi, Senator Kims, or Senator Rhodes, would be willing to, introduce some bills for you folks. But that's all I have for today. If you guys had any questions, I'll be willing to take those.
No, thank you. And thank you for your coordination of the resource fair. We, personally speaking, I think it was great because we were able to meet a lot of our other organizations within our district, and we collaborated with them. So thank you for the opportunity. Anybody from the board? Questions, comments? If not, Representative Holt, nice seeing you, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And with that, actually, I'll be totally remiss if I didn't thank Chance, because Chance was the chair of that resource fair at the Kuakini Hospital, is it? Yeah, in the back. So it was very productive. And thank you all for those who came. I think it was, we had, what do we have?
So on behalf of the board and then Chair Fong, I would like to thank Darren, Donald, Chair Fong, and then Cora, who's on WebEx tonight, for coming out and representing the board at the Kuakini Community Resource Fair. So thank you, guys.
And I want to thank the Neighborhood Commission because they gave us the goodies to pass out. We didn't have to spend any money.
I forgot to mention Chair Fong was also in attendance for the Community Resource Fair.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving right along. Representative Hussey. Oh, there he is. All right.
Hey, everybody. So I'm just going to go real quick through a list of 4 things that I'm following. One is today in the news was announced that that the chair of the Public Utilities Commission is stepping down effective November 17th. And his name is Leo Asuncion. He was in that position since I think 2019. So that'll be a big change for all of the things that the Public Utilities Commission covers, which includes things like energy, like the limos and SUVs around town that you see. Anyways, it's a really important role, which doesn't get a lot of public attention, right? It's a really important body. So that's an interesting change. Representative Holt and Representative Takanouchi are, they're both doing a really good job chairing what we're calling the Act 310 group, looking at how to provide what is really urgently needed resources in the wake of the federal shutdown, all of the changes happening nationally, providing that additional $50 million. One of those requests for funding is from groups like Kuakini. They need help, and there's so many very important, worthy organizations in our community that are seeking assistance. So I'm grateful to my colleagues for chairing that committee. Can I share some bad news? I think we have to know what's going on. So the Council on Revenues came out with their report today, and these numbers are not good. It says that general fund tax deposits are down by 12.6% compared with the same period in the previous fiscal year, and that's a really big loss. What that comes out to is that so GE and GET collections, which is the single largest category, is up 5.6%, but individual income tax is down 16.3%. TAT, which is the tax on transit accommodations, is up 1.5%. But I'm personally concerned about the impact of that. What nets out at 12.6% loss in state revenue. So that's not a good thing. And I wanted to share, I had a really interesting conversation today with a gentleman from a national public policy think tank talking about a new tax law that was passed in the state of Massachusetts a couple of years ago, I think. I think it's called the fair share tax. It's essentially a small surcharge, a 4% surcharge on incomes above $1 million. And they were able to bring in billions of dollars of new revenue to the state of Massachusetts And they found that actually it resulted in, in spite of this higher tax, there's actually a much larger economy that was created in the process of doing that, which makes me think that this is something that we should be looking at for Hawaii in the context of all of the cuts that we know are coming, that we've already experienced, and that also are coming in 26 or 27. The sort of bad news that I just shared about tax revenue. It means that we need to find other ways of generating very important revenue to support things like our schools and our roads and infrastructure. So just wanted to share, those are the things that are kind of top of my mind, and I'm open to any questions.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for coming, and you've always come. It's a good change for us. And I think the tax you're talking about, wasn't that called the wealth tax? You tax the guys over a certain, like, billionaires and millionaires?
Yes, a wealth tax is a different thing.
Oh,
The Massachusetts tax is a tax on incomes above $1 million. So the actual, your salaries and paychecks.
Oh,
as
okay.
opposed to a wealth tax, which is a tax on
everything the guy owns, and
Exactly.
that was pretty hard
Their
to.
assets,
Yeah,
which is
they
much
they
more
they,
different
they
tax.
can hide it. Yeah. Okay. Questions? Board? Comments? Audience? WebEx? Thank you very much, Representative Hussey, and we'll see you in January. Take care. All right, let's see. How about a governor's representative? No. How about anybody from Representative Ed Case's office? No. Okay. Minutes of October 13th, 2025. Any corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the minutes of October 13th, 2025. Moved by Brandon, seconded by Darren. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, just say aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. All right, let's see. No unfinished business. New business, we pretty much covered that. That was the regards to the fire breaks up in Kamehameha and Olive Heights. All right, community organizations, Malahio. St. Francis. Let's see, Lanakila.
Aloha, Chair. First off, Lanakila would like to thank everyone for coming to the show and sell. It was very well attended. So if you came, thank you. And if you didn't, come next time. And they have started their early winter registration. Will start the 17th of this month, November, and this is for January starting classes. So if anyone wants to take classes, now is the time to get ready to go and register for them. The classes start the second Monday in January. And sadly, the Tai Chi is ending, which was a very popular class, but the instructor is not available. They have, between January and August of this year, they had 3,000 activities. So quite a bit for people to get engaged and to be active. And it's quite a feat for a very small space. And then kind of from them, but next door to them, the HPHA, the School Street, their construction for the new senior housing is supposed to be finished in November with August of 2026 move-in. So it's moving forward, and as you can see, it definitely grew, and now they're finishing up. So, and I think that's all I have.
Any questions or any comments? Again, thank you to Lanakila. You did a heck of a great job for the senior citizens. And I say that because when I was in Catholic Charities, and that was my favorite, entity, because it kept our senior citizens away or having the necessity of going into a long-term care home. I think the average age you said was over 80 now?
83.
Oh my gosh, I don't qualify. I'm close, but thank you very much. Any other, let's see, any other oh, I'm sorry, Friends of the Leha Library. Brandon, anything? Oh, we do, we have something.
I keep forgetting that we don't have this at work, so I don't. So the Friends of the Lehigh Library is having their fundraiser on December the 6th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a mini book sale that's actually happening at the Lehigh Library, December the 6th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And all the funds go towards children, young adult, and adult programs at the Lehigh Library. Yep. If you have any questions, you can call me, text me, text Senator Sean Oakland, and she will get you more details, but that's the details they have right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're
By the
welcome.
way, have all of you had the opportunity to go see the new library? If you haven't, I invite you to. It's very it was very well built or renovated, I should say. As a matter of fact, it's interesting because I wanted to read something about, China and the Chinese, I don't know, it's for history. And they sent me back to a section, and the section was all in Chinese. I said, like, no, that's not for me. And it's funny because actually I went to the Manoa Library, and there's a section with in Japanese, for just Japanese. So it's amazing. So if you get a chance, go. Appreciate it. Thanks, Brandon. I thought they were going to have an open house. They're not going to have an open house, huh?
I think that they were, but I think that a lot of it has to do with funding. So hopefully after this fundraiser, they'll be able to, put some into the children, adult programs, youth programs. And then after that, maybe they might consider some kind of celebration, maybe New Year's time or something like that. So
Yeah, whatever. We'll wait for your
yeah,
your note.
I will keep you posted. As soon as Senator tells me when they're going to do that, I will let you know.
Great. Any comments or questions? Okay. Moving right along. Any other nonprofits? All right. After we adjourn, please stick around because I'd like to have Darren give us a brief in regards to our neighborhood board Christmas party. And also, I think the last thing we have, I think should be under we encourage everybody to go in. Announcements is going to be Monday, January 12th is our next meeting. We will go dark in December. And so I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if we're here and also our residents. Let's see. Oh, Loy, I have it under here. Neighborhood board bumper stickers. Do you have something to report on that? Do you want to
Got passed out, well received, but got a few more if anybody's still interested.
Yeah.
But if not, got to make a new run and hopefully can get reimbursed through neighborhood board.
Okay,
Commission.
great.
No.
And I want to thank Loy taking the initiative. And why don't you tell us who designed that?
Yes, that's my nephew. He's a graduate of the Asset School, which is based here out of ʻālewa Heights. And he went on to West Oahu to get a graphic art design degree. So he had up with it, and on the bottom of the logo, there's an EA. That's actually his initial. But Hawaii Ea Honu is also a hawk-billed turtle.
But terrific. Tell him thank you. It was very nice. Thank you.
Yes.
If it's going to be a collector's item, and by the way.
Okay, mahalo.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I'll pass on the compliment to him.
Okay, and finally, Liliha Palama Parade. Darren, you want to tell us?
Yeah. Other than what Vern has already mentioned, remember that November 28th at 4:30 p.m., United Church of Christ will be the location for the gathering, and then they will walk downhill. It's an easy hike. I've done it with Cub Scouts before. We end towards the end. I don't remember what the ending is, but it's not too far. It's about 1.5 miles. It's real easy. Everyone should be able to do it.
Can we have kind of just a tentative show of hands? Who's going to join us? One, two, yeah. Donald, you going to come with us? No, this time? All right. Oh, yeah, he's going to be on the other side of the street. Okay. If you can join us, please join us. All right, with that, stick around after the adjournment because I want to have Darren talk about our Christmas party. But before I do that, who's our representative for Sub-District 1? That's Pu'unui. Okay. Can you meet with our residents over here in regards to that flooding at the end of Pu'unui? I think because they're not the only ones that complained about that. Okay. Don't go away, okay? Thank you. All right, anybody else have anything to bring up?
Chair?
Okay.
Chair?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, Cora, you gonna join us?
Okay, I'd like to listen in to the uh
Yeah.
stay on
Yes.
or will it be stopped?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
you can stay on.
Okay.
We'll just
Or
get
will it stay?
no
I
no no
meant
no
will,
don't go away. We'll just get
will
rid of
it stay
everybody
on?
else.
Okay.
Yeah. Chameleon has
platform.
a secret button. She gets rid of everybody. Okay, anybody else? Anything else? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn before we have Darren's report. Moved by. Who moved? Moved by Carol, seconded by Wiley. All those say aye. Those opposed, motion's carried. Okay, stick around, guys. We have